A woman once said, "What is yours is mine, and what is mine is also mine." Discuss. What do you think about this woman? What do you think about a woman who says something like this, something as audacious as this? This woman is my wife, by the way. Yeah, she said that once upon a time. I don't know what to say about it, but yeah, we want to talk about that. We want to talk about what does the Bible say about this thing, this idea of winning bread. Whether the bread is agege or it's bokumat bread or sliced, I don't know, or toast bread. Like, how do we win this bread in the 21st century as believers? Stick around to find out. All right, guys, let's get into it. I feel like not many people are talking about this topic. I think many times tradition informs us, or society and culture, and it's okay for us to revisit these topics, not because we are doubtful, but because we want to be very sure that all we've learned from when we were younger and all we've seen in families is exactly what God designed for godly homes and marriages. We need to answer these questions, and not just for those who are married. This is something for those who are unmarried to kind of navigate and position themselves the right way so that you manage your expectations the right way. If it is true that men should carry the heavy lifting of breadwinning, they should be the breadwinners of the house. That determines how you would respond to that and involve yourself in the nurturing and raising of a family, right? That makes sense. So let's talk about it from a biblical standpoint. But let me ask a couple of questions first. Before I continue to ask these questions, can you do something very special for me? I would really love it. I would really appreciate it. Can you like this video? Just so that more people can see it. Like it, leave a comment for me. Do something nice, thoughtful, or violent if that's what you want. It's fine. Like, I can take a beating. Or how do they say it in the East? Woto woto. You can leave any of that. But also you can subscribe. You can subscribe. It takes nothing to do that. I would really appreciate you doing that. And just turn on the notification bell so you get notified when we have new videos. And so far, we've been releasing videos every week till further notice. So please click that button so you always know when these episodes drop. All right. So here are some of my questions. Like, how do we determine who the breadwinner is? Is it based on gender? Is it just slated because, of course, you're the man, you should be the breadwinner automatically? This is a burden you have to carry for the rest of your life, dear man. Is it assigned based on maybe who earns more, right? Is it about who earns more? So if it's the man who earns more, then he obviously would be the breadwinner. If the woman earns more, should she even be the breadwinner, or should the man sit up and do better with his life? We need to ask these questions, and maybe from a biblical standpoint. But just thinking about my story personally, my wife and I, we've been through different journeys of our financial possessions and financial experiences. When I first met her, when we started dating, interestingly, many people don't know this, she was earning more money than I was, right? I don't want to say the exact figures, but she was earning more by like maybe 60,000 naira, which was a lot as a 2020. Yeah, that's a lot of money. So she was earning like 60,000 more than I was earning. And I was very humble about it. But still, I was very clear on what I needed to do. I needed to spoil this woman. So I would save whatever I could save from. Then you could have a decent meal of chips and like 3 pieces of chicken in a particular restaurant. I won't mention the name. It's in GRA Ikeja. You can have a decent meal. 1,000. Did you hear what I said? 1,500 naira. Have it, and I'll save that. Maybe like a lot of that. No, not a lot of that, but like save like for 2 or 3 kinds of dates from that kind of money, and I'll take her out very often. So that's how it was from the beginning. And then there was a time where things switched and I started earning more than she was. And that was when I got the opportunity that was international. So that was significantly more. And so the dynamics changed as well in our relationship. And then again, the tables turned again and she started earning more than I was. And then I lost my job. Aww. And so obviously she was earning more than I was. And now the tables have kind of turned again. So it's just a whole journey that we've had, many changes in our financial status. But one thing was constant. We both always leaned in to support each other, to spoil each other, to take care of each other with our finances. And at every given point, especially when we got married, we were already clear on these things. We did like a whole Excel sheet, Google sheet thing. We sat down, we did, percentages of our salary, annual salary. What can each person afford to do? And of course, I always wanted to take leadership in terms of finances. So I would always say, you know what, for the rent, which was one of the biggest buckets, just right before food was the next biggest budget. I was like, I want to handle rent, right, all by myself. I think I can pull it off. For food, you handle food, but I chip in every month some percentage I would give towards that. So we just had an arrangement. Who's handling this bills, utilities? We just had an arrangement that worked for us, and it was great. But I remember someone making so many assumptions. I won't mention who it was, and the person was like, "Man, now that you don't have a job and I lost my job, how would you be paying for all these things?" And he was just mentioning all the different things. I'm like, yeah, that's for my wife. That's my wife taking care of that. I'm not taking care of that. That's my wife. And I didn't say it at the time, but like there was this assumption that, hey, dear man, you are taking care of every single thing in your house. It's on your shoulders. It's for you. So I don't want to just talk about things from a cultural standpoint. Let's actually look at the text. Let's look at the scriptures. What do the scriptures kind of tell us about who leans in and how much does each person lean into the marriage? I'm going to just really talk on 2 scriptures that come to mind. The first one is 1 Timothy chapter 5. All right, very, very important text that many people use, especially in this matter of breadwinnership. I don't know if that's an actual word. Breadwinnership. Should be, actually. In verse 8, Paul is writing to Timothy and he says, "But if anyone does not provide for his own, and especially for those of his household, he has denied." If I'm speaking slowly like this, is because I don't want Yoruba passion to overtake me. Yes, so those of his household, he has denied. Thank you so much. This is a lot. Like I have the dad just applauding me in the background. Thank you. That was a lot, man. Blood, sweat, and tears. He has denied the faith and is worse than an infidel. And I know when you look at the pronouns here, it seems like it's talking about the man. But when you go to the original Greek, actually, it is a non. I'm going to use my words carefully. Ungendered pronoun, not non-gendered, not non-binary, not agendered with an agenda. I'm talking about it's unisex is what I'm trying to say. It's for both. And in fact, more than just being for both, I think contextually, if you look at what comes before it and what comes after, you will notice that it's actually talking to women, literally specifically to widows. So look at verse 3. Honor widows who are really widows, which is a weird thing to say, like who are really widows. Like there's a depth of, like, this is crazy. But he goes on and says, if any widow has children or grandchildren, let them first learn to show piety at home and to repay their parents. It's talking about widows. Like they should show piety at home and repay their parents, for this is good and acceptable. Now, she who is really a widow and left alone trusts in God and continues in supplication and prayer night and day. But she who lives in pleasure is dead while she lives. So the one who doesn't care about family, the one who just goes about living their life, is really dead while she lives, literally. And this commandment, make sure you command them that they may be blameless. Who is he talking about? Widows who are not considering their parents in anything or their household. And that's why verse 8, which is the next verses, but if anyone, who is anyone here really in the context? If anyone does not provide for his own, and especially of the household, that person has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. Verse 9, so just in case you are not sure, verse 9 goes on to say, do not let a widow under 60 years old be taken into number, and not unless she has been the wife of one man. He's still talking about widows. So in taking care of a household, even from a financial standpoint, not even just a nurturing standpoint, like a woman is considered here, literally. And in fact, the context is not even about someone who is married, someone who has left a marriage. And maybe the conversation would be different if it were within the confines of a marriage. But there's just a responsibility. Like the principle here is anyone who does not provide for their own is worse than an unbeliever. Meaning the expectations of a believer, even a believing woman, is that she takes care of a household. Powerful stuff, right? Mind-blowing. Look at this. The most popular text on what a woman ought to look like, a married woman or a wife, Proverbs 31. Let's look at a couple of texts. Verse 10 says, who can find a virtuous woman or a virtuous wife? Her worth is far worth than rubies. Absolutely. Babe, shout out to you if you're listening to this. Yeah, that's you. The rubies, man. Rubies. Yeah. I was going to say something else, but that's it. I'm going to stop there. Verse 11. The heart of her husband safely trust her, and he will have no lack of gain. That is so true. Now look at this. Verse 13 talks about the work ethic of this woman. She seeks wool and flax, and she willingly, that's very important, willingly works with her hands. She's like the merchant ship. She brings her food from afar. She also rises while it is yet night, right, and provides food for her household and portion for her maidservants, right? She considers a field and buys it. So this is not constrained to a woman who is a chef. This is not about a chef. This is someone who gathers resources. She's doing stuff, making enterprise, and gathers food from afar, like a merchant ship. And a merchant ship is a ship that transports goods and services from one place to another. Like she's bringing it. She's making exchange for value, of money for value for food. And verse 16, she considers a field and buys it. And from her profits, she's a businesswoman. From her profits, she plants a vineyard. This is talking about a wife in the context of a marriage. So I think we need to go beyond, and I know a lot of people who are feminists or maybe even those who are extremists, who are hyper feminists, have no problem with this. But there's a healthy balance that the Bible brings to it. We know that there are many examples in scriptures of men like Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, who were given the responsibility of taking care of their family and providing for them. But I think this is more tailored to those who don't see their part in this. Like, dear woman, believing woman, you have a part to play. And I think in the 21st century, we need to normalize a concept that is so powerful. Wait for it. I'm going to tell you what that concept is. Drum rolls. Co-breadwinnership. Yeah, it's a mouthful. I know. It's a mouthful. Co-breadwinnership. Say it with me. Co-breadwinnership. It's not the best. It doesn't roll off the tongue, I know, but co-breadwinnership. I don't know if it exists. I don't know if it's an actual thing. Co-breadwinnership. Let's win bread together, guys. That's what we men are asking the women. Okay. We're asking, let's win some bread together. I believe something beautiful is a man and a woman bringing in things to the proverbial storehouse to take care of the household. It's biblical. There's nothing foreign to that. It should be normalized. If a woman happens to earn more than her husband, then what stops her? Like, imagine, let me just throw figures out. The husband is making, let's say, 1 million naira a year. That is terrible. It's not healthy if you're earning just 1 million naira in the entire year, especially if you have a lot of bills or you have to pay rent, right? Except you're a parent. Okay, even if you're a parent, you still pay rent. Anyways, that was good. No, that was not good. But imagine that you're earning that, and then your wife earns times 10. She's earning 10 million naira in a year. And we're talking about rent that is 2 million naira. Baba, where are you going to get that 2 million naira if your salary is 1 million? Of course, maybe it's a nudge to say, you know what, you need to maybe earn some more so that you can balance out, and a lot of the pressure is not on your wife. But guess what? She easily would be able to lean in to take care of the rent. Maybe you take care of other bills. So, like, we need to understand that this is a partnership, even in finances. The division of labor financially needs to be clear and needs to be proportional. Let's normalize proportionality even in marriage. So it's not about how much am I earning, it's about, in comparison, in proportion, what can I really afford to lean forward to supporting in the household. I think we should do that. And to be fair, in this economy, can you really afford a single income household? Can you really? Right? I hope things get better, and it looks like they are, but can you really afford to just be the only sole bringer of income in your family? But I tell you, you ease, especially as kids come around, you ease the burden when both of you contribute to it, not just in a service standpoint or serving the household, but also in bringing things to the storehouse. So it's just something to think about. What are your thoughts? Am I wrong? Am I misguided? You tell me what your thoughts are about, who the breadwinner should be in the marriage, in a family. All right, let's kick off the conversations from there. I hope this opened our eyes to, or maybe helped start some conversations. I hope so. But till next time, I am grateful for you being here. Thank you for clicking that subscribe button. I know I saw you do that. Thank you. You're so amazing. Thank you for doing that. You're like the best. I love you. Thank you for doing that. And I'll see you on the next one. So take care of yourself. Bye-bye.